Hey guys, I'm Alysha and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a really fun tutorial for you guys. We're making a bathing suit that's embellished that Kylie Jenner wore. It's super cute, super simple, and it won't take too long to get it done. If you guys have seen my tutorial where I just show you how to make a basic bathing suit, this is very, very similar up until we get to the embellishments part. So let's get into it. So I've got some weight 2 yarn and a size 3mm hook. And we are going to start with a slip knot. I'm going to start with a chain of 35. I wear like a size small medium. And if you want more coverage on the front and back, this is where you would increase more, so making more chains. So chain 35. Alright, so once you've got that 35, I'm yarning over and counting 1, 2 from the hook, 2 chains. Oh wait, yeah, 2 chains from the hook. And I am going to insert and make a half double crochet, yarn over, half double crochet, yarn over, half double crochet, and we're just going to keep doing half double crochets all the way down the row. How beautiful is this yarn, by the way? I got it on Etsy. I was looking for something glittery and just like, I'm obsessed. I'll put it in the description box as well if you guys want to get it too, because I have never seen a yarn like this at Michael's before, and just like, look at that glitter when someone hand makes it. I love that. So I'm just going to keep going down the row with my half double crochets, and I will meet you at the end. Alright, so I've finished that first row. Now we're at the end, so we're going to chain 2, flip our work like we're flipping a page in the book, and now we're starting our decreases. So on every other row, we are going to decrease 1 from each side, so 1 from here and 1 from here, and then the next row will just be regular. So how I like to remember it is whatever side there's like a little tail, that's a row where we're doing a decrease. So how we do a decrease, we are going to insert our hook like normal, as if we were doing a regular half double crochet. Now that we have our 3 on the hook, we are just going to we are just going to yarn over again and insert into the next stitch and continue like we're doing a regular half double crochet. Now that we've got these 5 on the hook, we're going to yarn over again and pull through all of them, and that is a decrease. And now we are just going to continue down the row with regular half double crochets all the way down. Alright, so I've gone all the way down, I've got my decrease at the start, and now I only have 2 stitches left. So to decrease at the end here, we're doing just what we did at the beginning. So make the start of a half double crochet and then start the next one and pull through all 5. Chain 2, flip your work, and now this is an end without a tail on the end, so it's just going to be regular half double crochets all the way down the row. So we're making those decreases on every other row on both sides. So I'll meet you when I get to the end, and I'll show you how to decrease one more time, but we're going to do a whole bunch of rows of decreases until we get to around our crotch part. So I'm at the start of a decrease row. I chained 2 already, and so now I'm going to insert, then I have 3 on the hook, go into the next stitch, 5 on the hook, and make a decrease, and just continue down the row as normal. And now I'm at the end of the row with only 2 stitches left, so I'm going to insert, yarn over so you've got 3 on the hook, and do that again. So you've got 5 on the hook, and decrease, chain 2, flip your work, and it's another regular row of just half double crochets. So keep on going with that until you only have a few stitches left, just enough to cover your crotch part, and I will meet you there. So I'm all done with my decreases. I've got this nice trapezoid. I have 24 rows done, and I finished on a decrease row. So now we are just going to do a couple of rows of half double crochet with no increase or decrease. This will be the crotch part. So it is really dependent on how much or how little you want or need to cover. So just at the end, what would be a decrease row, I am just making regular half double crochets. So I'm just going to keep doing a couple more rows and I'll let you know how many I did. So I did 9 rows with no decreases, and I made sure to end on an I did an odd number of rows, so I made sure to end on a row where I'm going to do an increase. So at the end here we do our chain 2 as regular, and then we are going to put an increase in each side on every other row, just like how we did the decreases the first time. So I start with a half double crochet, and then in that exact same hole I put another half double crochet, and that's an increase. And we're just going to keep going down the row like normal. And then in that very last stitch, we are going to put 2 stitches in that last stitch for another increase. And then we just do a row of regular half double crochet. And just keep going every other row, increase 1 on each side until we have enough so that our front matches the back. So I think that that's 24 rows total of our every other increase rows. So just continue on like that. I'll show you how to do the increases one more time. Alright, so we're on a row that starts with the tail. So I'm putting an increase in. So 2 in the same hole. Regular across the row. And then an increase in the last row, or last stitch, sorry. And now we have a row without half double crochet. So I'm just going to keep going this pattern until I have a back piece that matches the front when you fold it up. It should match like that. All right, I'll meet you there. So I've gotten to the end of my increases, and when you fold it over, it matches perfectly. So now what we are going to do is chain one, pull up a little bit, and snip, and tie off. And now we are going to make the straps on each corner. So I'm taking 2 strands and lining them up right next to each other. And making a slip knot. And just treating it as if it was one piece of yarn. Inserting, making a slip stitch, and chain 100. You can do more or less chains depending on how much you really need. But yeah, just continue on that until you have one on each corner. I actually chose to make the straps 75 chains because I found that they were pretty long at 100. So at the end, just to tie it off, I just pull it up a little bit, snip, and pull it through to tie off. And that is one strap. And I'm just going to continue that for the other 3 corners. So we are all done with the bikini bottoms, and we're going to shift over to making the bikini top, and we'll embellish it all at the end. So we are going to start with a slip knot, and we're going to do my basic cup that I usually do. If you've seen that tutorial, probably already done it, but I have a bit of an adjustment since we're using such a fine yarn. Your chain is going to be long enough to go from underneath your boob and reach up to the middle of your nipple. So usually with weight 4 yarn I do chain 7, but with this size yarn I'm going to do a chain of 14. Then I'm going to do a half double crochet down it. Now we are going to chain 2, flip our work, and do another row of half double crochet. So now that we've gotten to the end, in that last stitch right there, we are going to put 7 extra half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, And now we are going to continue doing half double crochets down the back of the row. These stitches are a little bit more difficult to get into, but just look closely at what you are doing. So at the end of the row now, we are going to chain 2, flip our work, and this is the row that we are going to repeat over and over until we have a cup that's big enough for you. So we are doing half double crochets all the way up. And now around here we're going to look for what's our center stitch. It's going to be that one. So I have 3 more to go. Okay, and in that very center top stitch, we are going to put 3 half double crochets in that same hole. And then keep going with half double crochets all the way down. Chain 2, flip your work, and now we're going to do that same thing as the last row. So just half double crochet up the side, Alright, so now we've gotten to the center stitch. See how we have 3 stitches emanating from that one hole? So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. We want to put 3 stitches in that center hole. So in this first one we just put 1, but then in the center hole we put 1, 2, and 3. And then just continue with normal half double crochets as you go down the back. And just keep repeating this over and over again till you have the right size for you. See how it's starting to coming together? Got that roundness and then the point at the top. So we're just going to keep on going around and around until we have the right size. So once you have your cup to the size that you want it to be, once you're at the end of one row, I want you to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you are going to insert with the slip knot, not right where you just came from, but kind of like a step over. Have that slip knot so that you have this little loop. This is where we're going to string our rib cage strap around. So we're going to keep doing that all the way across. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm not going to insert it right beside it, but just kind of like a step over. And do a slip knot, chain 4. And a step over. Chain 4. Sorry, I just keep messing up these slip knots. Or slip stitches. Oh my goodness, everywhere I said slip knot, substitute that with slip stitch. I'm dumb. I do that every time. But yeah, I'm just going to keep on doing that until I get to the end of the row. Okay, so I got to the end of my row. I've got all of these little loops, and we are just going to chain 1, pull up a little bit, and snip off. Now you are going to make an identical cup for your other side, but while we're here, I'll show you how to make the strap to go around your neck. So we make the slip knot, with both strands, and then our long chain. And then when you have your long chain, you're just going to snip and tie off. So you've got your cup and your long chain, and now make an identical one for your other breast. So I've got both my cups done, and the last thing to do is the ribcage strap to wrap around. It depends on how wide your ribcage is, but I am going to make a chain of 150 with 2 strands so that I have enough to wrap around my ribcage and then also enough to tie. Just realized I didn't show what I was doing, but I am doing a slip knot and using those 2 strands if they were one. And I am going to make 150 chains. So I've gotten to the end of my chain, oops, and I'm just going to snip and tie off. And just to lace it through this top, you can just kind of push it through with your fingers as you weave it in and out, or you can take your hook and grab on somewhere and then pull it through. Or you can take a darning needle as you weave it through. But whatever you do, very simple, and just weave it all the way through and then through the other cup as well. So to make our little detail flower things that are going to go across the top of the bottoms and then all over the cup, what we're going to do is start with a slip knot. Chain 5. In the very first chain, you are going to insert your hook and make a slip stitch and chain 3. So we have this little loop here. We're going to yarn over and insert a double crochet into the center of that circle. We are going to put a total of 11 double crochets. So we just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now we're at the end here. You see this little stitch there? We're going to insert our hook, make a slip stitch, chain 1, pull up a little bit, and tie off. We're going to make a whole bunch of these. I don't know how many yet, but I will put it on the screen, and I'll meet you when I have all of them. I've got 3 options for adhering your little flower bits. This one right here, I used fabric Mod Podge. It's great, except the only thing is it takes like hours to dry and set, so I just did this so I won't know how it really like turns out, how it feels for a couple of hours. This I used hot glue on. A bonus is that it dries almost instantly, but it does go through the back and it can make your fabric harder. Next I use a needle and thread. You can't really see the thread at all because I use a clear thread, but if you have a thread that's just like this beige color, it will work. And also this one only works if you have beads that have a hole through the center. My bead does have a hole. I don't know if you can see it or if it'll focus, but yeah, it's got a hole through the center. So think about that. I think that the sewing is it will probably look the best because it keeps your fabric still stretchy and everything, but it takes the longest time to actually do. Mod Podge takes the longest to dry, and then probably the quickest and easiest is just a hot glue gun. So up to you what you want to do, but I will show you how I do it. So for the hot glue gun, I want to have something underneath just to make sure that I'm not gluing my piece to my table. I'm also using tweezers so that I can place the little pearl bead without getting burnt. I just got my little thing. So I'm taking my hot glue gun and adding a couple dots around, and warning, it's extremely hot. And I am just going to place it. And then I'm going to put a little glue dot in the center. And I'm using my tweezers. I just put one point of the tweezer inside of the pearl so that I can hold it securely. And then I am just going to place it, kind of press it in, make sure that it's secure. And then also lift it up from the paper underneath just to make sure that it's not sticking there. And I'm going to repeat this all the way across. So these are the bottoms all done. I'm just letting it sit to dry a little bit before I move it. Now I'm going to move on to the top. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check me out on Instagram and TikTok, and if you have any questions, leave me a comment, send me a DM. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.